Hey, Arcturus here. Today we're looking at a Star Wars battle pack, the Ambush on Mandalore. This is set 75373 and comes with 109 pieces. If you've gotten any of the other battle packs, this is pretty similar. This one only comes with 4 minifigures, 2 Imperial Commandos, and 2 Mandalorians. In this case, you get 1 Mandalorian Warrior and 1 Mandalorian Night Owl. Here is everything that's built in this battle pack. You get one sort of rocky area with a door, and then a small chest which has the usual thermal detonators in it, and a miniature stud launching turret. You of course do get the studs to launch those. You also get these sort of attachments for the helmets, the Mandalorian helmets in this, as you can see here. The Mandalorian helmets in this do have holes in them, so if you really dislike those, you will probably not enjoy that. As you can see, these Mandalorian helmets do have helmet holes in them. You do get this nice jetpack attachment. I believe they've used this before. At least it looks relatively familiar to me. I think a Jango Fett model had this at one point, or other Mandalorian models. There are 2 different Mandalorians. There's the Warrior and the Night Owl. This one is the Mandalorian Night Owl. I gave this one dual pistols. It's a nicely detailed model, which you'd hope for in one of these battle packs. You got that sort of silver armor there on the legs, some feet printing here, and some extra silver here just on that side part, bandolier strap, belt, nicely detailed belt, some armor plates, and then the back is of course hidden by the jetpack. All the minifigures in this set use the same sort of head without any detail on it whatsoever. And then here is the back of the Mandalorian Night Owl. I think they use this because some of the helmets, particularly the Mandalorian ones, the Imperial ones don't seem to have that problem, leave the little bit of the head shining through. The helmet's not quite long enough. And using just the solid head doesn't show any of the skin underneath, which kind of fits better with what the Mandalorians look like in the shows. Of course, it does mean you can't really have them without the helmets on, but so I give the Mandalorian Warrior the bolt rifle. Normally this is attached to the back of the rock section. I'll refocus that in a second. So here's the Mandalorian Warrior, similar type, just on the legs there are some slight differences. You have these larger silver areas, and then here's the back, and of course the chest plate is different on him as well. So here's the 2 of those side by side. You can see they are actually fairly different figures, although they do look similar because they have mostly that blue and silver, but mostly they are actually different, which is a nice touch. Sometimes on these you get, like with the clone troopers, which makes sense because they're all clones, but they all, maybe the detail is really tiny, whereas this is actually a little more noticeable. So let's look at the Imperials. So the Imperials are actually the same figure. You get 2 Imperial Commandos. I actually really like these helmets. They're really well done. Oh, and even on these, you do get a slight section where you can see through to the head. So using that same blank headpiece works really well. And because they have it printed in black, you get the it adds to the shadow, right? So it's already dark. So it's supposed to be dark because it's shadowed, so you don't get the like flesh color that comes through on some of the Imperial helmets for some of the other minifigures. So a very solid Imperial Commando. Gave them both the blasters. This square piece here on the backpack is actually a printed piece that can be removed. And then you just have this sort of mini jetpack here without that section. And then we can also look at the back. And it's a similar type attachment to the jetpacks the Mandalorian has. And then you have just the typical armored back here for the Imperial Commandos. Slide that back on. I do like these helmets. I think they look really good. I'm really impressed with these. I don't really like the helmet holes, but they also aren't a deal breaker for me. But this is just a really solid helmet. The Imperial helmets from Lego have always been really good. And you do have some faint printing here on the mouth section. It's kind of faint here in the camera. It's a little bit more noticeable in person. I just don't know if... There you go. With some better lighting, here you go. Just a really solid helmet for these Imperial Commandos. really impressed with that. The rifle I gave the Mandalorian Night Owl normally just sits here, and you do have this clear piece, so you can sort of have them, flying around this section if you use it as a playset. Or you can build if you get a couple of these, you could probably build a very large rocky area for them to fight on. This is just using a ball joint for that movement there, so you do have basically full movement for it. Well, that's all I have for today. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and leave me a comment down below on your favorite battle pack from Star Wars, and I will see you next week with another video.